The first gen Pixel tablet is no doubt one of the most unique products we've seen from Google in recent years, trying to be this interesting blend of a tablet and a smart home hub. But unfortunately, let's be honest here, I don't think it took off as much as Google would have hoped. It was a hard sell, and it was an expensive device with underpowered specs, and the overall perception was the Pixel tablet served the purpose of an overpriced Nest Hub replacement. On top of that, we got reports late last year that the Pixel Tablet 2 has been canceled, and even more concerning are the rumors that suggest we might not see a successor until 2027, a full 5 years after the original's debut. With so much uncertainty regarding the Pixel tablet line, it does genuinely make me wonder, has Google actually given up on the tablet form factor entirely? And as all things with Google, the answer isn't as simple as you would think. Google's history with first-party tablets has always been a rocky one, to say the least. Looking back over the past decade or so, we had the Nexus 7 in 2012, which was arguably their most iconic device, known for having good specs at the time for a budget price. Then in 2014, we had the Nexus 9, which was released to somewhat mixed reception for poor build quality, inconsistent performance, and a price point that felt a little too high for a Nexus device. After that was the Pixel C in 2015, a complete redesign featuring an ultra premium build, top tier performance, and a really slick keyboard folio case, but as a whole was arguably held back by its software. The Pixel Slate, released not long after in 2018, generally remembered for great hardware, but was overall unfinished software-wise and was overpriced for the value. From then on out, Google effectively exited the tablet space entirely, that is until 2023, with the Pixel tablet, which is unfortunately seeing some of the same exact problems as last year's tablets. Don't get me wrong, I truly do love my Pixel tablet, but I don't think it captured consumers and the mass tablet audience the way Google would have hoped. And if I had to speculate why, I'd tell you it's expensive at $499 USD, underspec'd with a 60Hz display and the Tensor G2 chip, which was already feeling outdated at launch, mind you, and probably the most important issue is that it struggled with that core identity situation, whether it was supposed to be a decent tablet or a somewhat okay Nest Hub device that for some reason didn't have one-to-one feature parity with their much cheaper dedicated Nest Hub models anyways. Regardless, when I did hear the news in November last year that the Pixel Tablet 2 was reportedly canceled, I personally was gutted, but not entirely shocked given the first generation's reception. The official reasons reported at that time were cited to profitability concerns, but I personally think it was also because of that lack of product identity and to a bigger extent a huge shift in Google's overall device strategy. Right now, Google's in a deep transitional period when it comes to the Pixel lineup. Gemini, at least right now, is the biggest, most important initiative for Google as a company, and AI as a whole is a massive industry and a big area of focus in tech today. And with huge competition heating up from companies like OpenAI, Perplexity, DeepSeek, and many others, Google needs to have a solid, top-tier alternative in order to keep their dominance in the tech game. Because of that, they're evolving their core business strategy, implementing Gemini into every product and service they can possibly offer, from Android to YouTube to search and everything in between. That said, I think the Pixel tablet in its current state, in its current offering, and by extension the unreleased Pixel Tablet 2, just couldn't fit in Gemini in a way that people would receive well at this moment. We know, as of right now, Google is hard at work on replacing Google Assistant with Gemini on home devices, but that experience is currently in beta. That means today, the Pixel Tablet uses Google Assistant and Hub mode and Gemini in tablet mode, which would probably be the case for the Pixel Tablet 2 as well, and I could see Google wanting to clean up and perfect this experience first before releasing new hardware. I'm thinking, unfortunately, the Pixel Tablet 2 was just set to come at a bad time, where Google is still in the middle of improving their core Gemini experience for the home side of things, and probably thought it would be better to wait. On top of that, reports did somewhat suggest the Pixel Tablet 2 would have focused a bit more on productivity anyway, with a 120Hz screen, a bigger battery, DisplayPort output to connect external monitors, which probably would be great for the upcoming Android 16 desktop windowing mode, alongside a new keyboard cover. This would have certainly made the Pixel tablet more laptop-like, probably making it more confusing to market to the masses. Therefore, by canceling the Pixel Tablet 2, it frees up resources for Google to develop a new tablet specifically designed for the Gemini era in mind with a stronger identity. So, with all that said and done, what can we expect in the future? Well, the first gen Pixel tablet is still on the market for now and will receive software updates until June 2026 and security updates until June of 2028. Hopefully, that does get extended by another year or so, given they've canceled the Pixel Tablet 2. That way they can keep improving on the experience in the meantime. I should mention as well that Android 16 is rumored to get better app window management that resembles desktop support to some degree, alongside enhanced support for keyboards, styluses, and external monitors, something that is much needed in the tablet space these days. And of course, there is a huge long-term project underway to fully migrate Chrome OS over to Android, which would power future Chromebooks. But it would also make Android tablets a much stronger product as well, so they'll be more competitive with iPad OS. I think it does make sense to consolidate resources. Sure, Chrome OS has its own benefits, but merging everything into Android will make the operating system more capable if Google can pull it off correctly with desktop class apps, for example. Then, of course, a big aspect I mentioned earlier is Gemini integration, which we actually know the least about right now. It's a big question as to how Google will develop Gemini into this Chrome OS/Android hybrid, into a more productivity-focused machine like what the future 2027 Pixel tablet might be. All of this coming together actually starts to make more sense to me now. By taking a step back, unifying Chrome and Android, plus designing Gemini with this shift in mind. Also, by then, the TSMC Tensor chips should hopefully be perfected, and with the rumor the Pixel Tablet 3 might have 2 USB ports, it could maybe be a promising productivity device if things do play out correctly. Alright, so wrapping this up, I think we can come back to the question, has Google officially given up on tablets? Based on everything we're seeing, I'd say no, not entirely. At least to me, it feels a lot less like Google's abandoning the product category, and more so they're taking a step back and re-strategizing their focus. Don't get me wrong, we know their tablet history has been undeniably messy, and I'm sure Google really wants to get this right. Therefore, canceling the Pixel Tablet 2 was probably hard for everybody. But this effort does seem strongly tied to their massive company-wide pivot to AI and the need to get the software and Gemini integration right before committing to new hardware in this space. Unfortunately, it does mean we're in for a long wait, but the focus on improving large screen Android software and the potential for a future tablet designed around Gemini gives me some cautious optimism. It might be frustrating for now, but maybe the device we get in 2027 or beyond will actually be the Android tablet myself and many people in the community are waiting for. But that's just my take, and I want to bring it to you guys and see what you think at this time. Does it make sense that Google would take a step back from the Pixel tablet to revamp everything, or do you think Google is dropping the ball on tablets once again? Are you excited for the future of the Pixel tablet, or are you cautiously optimistic that things might not work out? Let me know your theories and maybe your frustrations down in the comments below. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd from 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.